A quick video on transformation of graphs. Okay, so we're going to go through a few different exam questions. I've tried to animate one of them just to make it easier for you to visualize, and then we'll see how we go. First thing is the rules that you'll need to know. Okay, so the rules come under translation, dilation, and reflection. So translation, first of all, that's the movement of the whole graph. So if it happens within the brackets, you're going to have the opposite function happening to the x. So for instance, if it was x plus 3, you'd actually be taking away 3 each time you have your x. Vertical translation, that actually just bumps it up. So if it's plus 4, you would plus 4 to your y. Take away 4, you would take away 4 for your y. Dilation, so that looks at the stretch and the shrink. So if it's happening outside the brackets with your k, then you're stretching your y-axis. If it's happening to your inside the brackets, it's actually happening to your x-axis, okay? So key thing here is that it's, again, the opposite effect when it's inside the brackets. Next one, reflection, okay? So we got reflection in the x-axis. So that's when it's outside the bracket, okay? So we'll be flipping the y, and that's why the fact it reflects in the x-axis. Whereas the reflection inside the bracket, it has the flip on the x. I hope that makes sense when we go through some questions. So the first ones we've got by here. Now I've animated these just to help you out a little bit. So we've got the coordinates 1, 4, and we've got to say what the new coordinates are going to be. Well, the first one is inside the brackets. So if I look and just show you the animation, what's happened with my drawing skills. X plus 3. So this basically means we're going to find out what x was when it was that y function. But if you necessarily think that it's added 3 now, so we've got to work backwards and take away that 3. So x take away 3. So if x is 1, I'll write that down. We're then taking away 3 from x, which gives us minus 2. Just realised I wrote 3 there. Minus 3 from both. So minus 2 and 4. So nothing's happening to our y-axis because we're still looking at the same thing that's happened. It's just the value of x has been added 3 onto. So actually the function on y happens a lot quicker than before. That's why the graph has shifted the other way. Okay, so we'll disappear that one. The next one, the minus is outside the brackets, okay? So this means essentially what's happening to your y function is that we're going to become negative. So as you can see, it's flipped over. So again, our coordinate is y4. This time the change is happening to our y function, which gives you 1, because as you can see, it hasn't changed, minus 4. Next one. Here our c, looking at c, the y function has been shifted down. Best way to think about this is if you have your y-intercept, when we're looking at like parallel graphs and say, so they'll be at like a set level. If I added 3 to my y-intercept, it would go higher. If I took away 3, it would go lower. So it's the same concept when it's outside of the bracket. So if you have a look, so it's shifted down 3 in this case. So again, we're just affecting that y value. So it should have been 1, 1 for that one. Okay. And the last one. So this is minus x. So this is actually flipping the x-axis. Okay, so our x value is being, sorry, flipping in the y-axis, but our x value is being manipulated. So the graph stays pretty much the same. The only thing that's in it is like flipped over. So it's like if you can imagine that is our mirror line. Probably should have shifted that a little bit over, but you should get the gist of it. So our 1, 4 is now going to become minus 1, 4. There we go. So the next lot of graphs won't have the like the animations, but I hope that'll help. So that's done. So have a moment, freeze this if you want to for a second, and pause me when you're ready. Right, we've got 4 questions here. X plus 2, remembering you're doing the opposite, so we should be minusing 2. So again, writing down, because it's in the x-axis, we know what's happening to the x-axis, I keep on saying that, x brackets. So we're going to minus 2 from x, which gives you 0, minus 3. Next one, it's outside the brackets, so we know we're flipping our y. So we're currently at 2 minus 3, and that's now going to go down to x stays the same, y becomes positive. C, remember, think of your c-intercept is shifting up at this point. So we're going up by 2. So if we're at 2 minus 3, this is then jumping to 2 minus 1. And the last one, it's inside the brackets, so we're flipping in the y-axis. So we currently got 2 minus 3. It's now going to become minus 2 minus 3. Okay, I hope that helped. One more. Check your answers. Wrong way. Next section. Read the question. You've got 1 point again. Pause the video if you need to. And when you're ready to hear the answers, pause me. So we've got minus 2, 1. Again, each time, all I tend to do is write down the coordinates I've got. The reason why I write them down is because I find it easier and I'm not focusing on previous coordinates, because sometimes you kind of, especially in that exam situation, you might then write your new coordinate on for your next question. So it's just making sure that each time you've got the coordinate you started with. Okay, so we got x minus 3. So remember, we did the opposite to what happened to the negative. So this is going to come plus 3. So minus 2 plus 3 gives you 1, and the y doesn't change. Happening inside, so we know it's happening to the x value, and obviously it's going to flip in the y-axis. So this is going to become 2, 1. This one's got 2 things going on, so please be careful here. The first thing, the negative's outside, so I know that's happening to my y value. So my 1 is now going to become minus 1. X plus 2, and whenever it's plus 2, remember we're doing the opposite of adding, so we're taking away 2. So it's going to become minus 4, minus 1. Similar question, again, it's got 2 things happening to this graph. Let's work inside the brackets first. So we know there's a negative, so it's doing the opposite to the axis, so it's going to become positive 2. And again, our y-intercept's dropping, so it's going to become 0. I hope this helped. If you need more or any more questions, please comment below and let me know how you get on.